Years ago, I lived near Hatcher Pass in Alaska, and every time I drove this road, I felt like I was entering another world. The first time I crested the ridge and saw the rusted roofs and broken windows of Independence Mine, I felt like I'd stepped into someone else's memory. The wind here carries a different kind of silence. Not empty, but full of the work and voices that once filled this valley. I remember the gravel under my boots and the way the light hit the old mill like a photograph left to fade. It all began in 1896, when prospectors struck gold in Willow Creek. By 1904, Robert Lee Hatcher staked the first hard rock claim, giving this pass its name. Unlike Nome or Juneau, this was rugged country. Steep slopes, harsh winters. I've hiked those ridges myself, and it's hard to imagine hauling gear up here with nothing but hope and grit. By the late 1930s, Independence Mine was thriving. Over 200 employees and 22 families lived here. There were bunkhouses, schools, even a sense of community in this remote valley. When I walked to the old bunkhouse ruins, I could almost hear kids laughing, smell coal smoke drifting from stoves, and picture miners trudging home after long shifts underground. This wasn't just a mine, it was a town carved into mountains. But in 1942, World War II changed everything. Gold mining was declared non-essential. The tunnels went quiet, equipment sat idle, and families moved away. By 1951, Independence Mine closed for good after producing more than 34,000 ounces of gold. I've stood inside those tunnels, and the silence feels like a memorial. It's as if the mountain itself remembers the day the work stopped. From 1960 into the 1970s, the Independence Mine ski resort was in operation, a visitor's memory of the ski years. I still remember hearing about the drive up Hatcher Pass in the 1960s. The road twisted steeply through the mountains, barely wide enough for 2 lanes, and in winter the snow piled so deep it felt like you were carving away into another world, they said. Every turn carried a hint of danger, but also the thrill of reaching something special at the top. When you finally arrived, the old Independence Mine bunkhouse had been reborn as a lodge. Downstairs, the dining room glowed with warmth and chatter, while upstairs simple rooms waited for skiers who wanted to stay the night. It was rustic, but that only added to the charm. You could feel the history in the walls, the echoes of miners who once lived there. The rope tow pulled us up the slope, and from the crest the view was breathtaking. Endless peaks, crisp air, and the sense of standing inside Alaska's untamed heart. The mine's past lingered all around us, but in those years it had become something new, a place where adventure replaced labor, and laughter filled the halls that once rang with the sound of drills and hammers. There were later attempts to bring the mine back in the 1970s and 80s. Coronado Mining tried to revive operations, but milling problems and costs doomed the effort. Today, rusted tools and broken machinery lie scattered across the site, ambition frozen in time. I've seen them myself, reminders of how hard it is to fight against the mountain. In 1983, the site was preserved as Independence Mine State Historical Park. Now, visitors wander through weathered buildings, imagining the voices of miners and families who once called this place home. I've walked these trails with friends, telling them to stop and listen, because history lingers in the silence. Every creak of timber, every rusted nail is part of the story. Hatcher Pass is just one chapter in Alaska's mining saga. Across the state, ghost towns like Portlock tell darker stories of disappearances and legends. Independence Mine sits inside the Alaska Triangle, a region infamous for mysteries. Some say the miners never left. Living near here taught me that history isn't gone. It's alive in the land, waiting for us to listen. The gold dreams may have faded, but the mountains still whisper. For me, Hatcher Pass is more than a scenic stop. It's a living memory of ambition, hardship, and resilience. And in the silence, some say the ghosts remain. Follow along with us as we add more telling Alaska stories, both from our minds, experiences and revelations made by others, as Alaska is still one of the truly great last frontiers. Welcome to the Inner Circle. This isn't just a membership, it's a mission. You're supporting forensic truth, mythic blends, and ceremonial broadcasts that honor every moment. Members unlock exclusive enhancements, behind-the-scenes alerts, and direct access to the pulse of Scape news, and leading sponsor, Gold Rush Fever Specialty Coffee. Join us and help shape the signal. We thank you, and as always, stay safe. That's the latest from Scape News. We're live. We're watching. We thank you. Subscribe, like, share, and ring the bell so you don't miss what breaks next. Stay with us. We appreciate you, and as always, be safe.